Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. It is a great honor to welcome back our friend and founding member of the Roundtable, Cesar Augustus. He's the CEO of Dealer Scanning. They provide document scanning for dealerships all across the country. Cesar, welcome back to the Roundtable.
Oh, thank you, Ted. I'm excited to be here. Great to see you. Great to see Kara. And great to see Sean. Just excited to be here today, man.
Yeah, great to have you. And Cesar, thank you for all your support from the early days of the Roundtable, from the very first one that we did in New York together. So, here we are, number 20, right? Can you believe that we're here?
Amazing, amazing. I can't wait to go back to live events. So this is exciting, but can't wait to see you all in person too.
Yep. All right. And with us this morning as well is Sean Kingery, Vice President of Kaiser Automotive Group, and Kara Delane from the Fixed Ops Roundtable. So, Cesar, here we are, middle of May. I know we got a Safeguards Act coming up in June. Kind of bring us up to speed on scanning, the state of the industry on that. And then I know Kara's got some questions, and we'll let you run with it. But get us going.
Yeah, Ted, June 9th. It's the middle of May, guys. And June 9th may sound just like another day on the calendar, but for the auto dealerships, it is an important day to remember because it's a deadline for the new FTC safeguards rule. It's basically the rule that requires dealerships to have a comprehensive information security program to protect customer personal information. So a lot of dealerships have this in place, but what I see and by being out in the field, there's a big percentage of dealerships that either don't understand what's going on with this safeguard rule or simply don't think it's that important. Now, back in NADA, we met with the NADA lawyers, the people that are out there in protecting dealers, and I was with a meeting with them, and I asked them, what does this safeguard rule look like, and what does the penalty look like? And the NADA lawyer told us that it's $50,000 per incident. Now I said, wow, $50,000. So what does that look like? He said is, for example, if you go into a dealership and you find a box of ROs or deal jackets just hanging around that it's not securely in a room secured or not visible to customers, that is a violation. But it's not just $50,000 per incident, it's $50,000 per customer, which I thought it was insane. You can have a box of ROs of 50 ROs.
Sure.
You do the math, that could ruin a dealership. Now, that was the lawyer's explanation or an example. Let's be careful. And I think if dealers are not careful, they're going to make an example out of one dealership, and we don't want any of our dealerships to go through that.
And Cesar, behind you today, I see the scanning unit. I have seen you in a lot of Fixed Ops Roundtable dealers actually doing the scanning, installing it yourself. I know it's very easy to use. And, Cesar, a lot of dealers use scanning, but it's amazing how many dealers still do not.
Yes. Like I said, we're out on the road. We're knocking on doors. We're road warriors. It's still about 35 to 40% of car dealers that are not scanning. And we offer the best scanning system in the industry. It's easy to implement. And we give you a 2-month free trial. But Ted, you didn't know this. Kara doesn't know this. Just for people that are watching this, joining this event, we're giving you a 3-month free trial. What does that mean? We're giving you this scanning system and the training so you can kick the tires for 3 months, no commitment. This is literally the best deal, but it's only reserved to you, Ted, because you're the man. 3 months, free. Doesn't get better than this. That gives you the opportunity to kick the tires and make sure we're up to par, and we provide the best service.
Sean, I've been a fellow Floridian, in the recent past, and there was that big hurricane that went through, I guess, in September of last year. And talk to us about scanning, because you've seen dealerships that use it and don't, and you know the difference.
Ted, it's funny. I'm gonna use a line that we've used a couple times here in the last couple days. To be honest with you, and it comes from Tully. It's time to get out of the wheelchair, guys. You got to get out of the past. And I know Cesar's got a great story, and hopefully he has time to share today about a hurricane down in Florida. But I don't care if it's a hurricane, if it's a tornado, if it's a fire, guys. You need ROs, and I'll wait because I know Kara's got some questions to approach about why I'm so adamant about scanning, and I love scanning. There's a reason to scan. The old days are gone. You're not pulling deal jackets anymore, guys. And that's on the fixed op side. Forget the F&I side and the sales side. You're not going back and pulling the color-coded files anymore, guys. You don't need to. The information's in the DMS. Everything you need is in front of you. You need the file to protect you on the backside. And to Caesar's point, this $50,000 fine that we're all going to end up paying, let's hope we don't. It's kind of like OSHA. You know it's there. You know it can be there. And you don't need it until you get caught. And it takes one client or one disgruntled former employee to walk in and say, listen, this is what they're doing, and this is how they do it, okay? And I know I don't want to get edited here, Ted, so I won't say this. I have a family member, a brother-in-law, who, by the way, works for OSHA, and he's that guy, okay? I'll be honest with you. He is that guy that would walk in and punch your clock, okay? It takes one person, one time, and to Caesar's point, we said right before we started talking here, guys, you get hit big enough, you'll close a dealership down.
Yeah. Karen, I know you've got some questions this morning for Caesar on dealer scanning.
Yep. So thinking back, because I've seen this too. I've seen dealerships, I've been inside of dealerships that I've seen just rooms and rooms on files. And number one, I don't think they have any organization. I don't know how you would ever find what you were looking for. But I know so many dealerships still today have those rooms or somewhere they have these files. So if you come into their dealership, Caesar, how long does it take if they had rooms and rooms of files? How long is it going to take for you to scan all of those and implement your process in their store?
Got it. So great question, Kara. So our process is extremely simple. People don't believe us, but we come into the dealership in less than 2 hours. We can have the scanning station set up. We can have the people trained, and depending on the volume, and this is what's cool about this, the cool thing about our product is that it's so simple. All you literally do, and you've seen the demo, and we'll show the demo, Ted, is you load up the repair order and you click a button on this touchscreen and it scans the repair order 70 pages a minute. And we use our technology of OCR and barcode to read the repair order number off of the repair order. So what it does is a simple scanning process.
Wow.
By making it simple, you're allowing more throughput through the scanning. So I've seen dealerships basically hire college students in the afternoons. I was at a dealership out in Anaheim, and I remember it was cool because I met a person that worked at Disney World in the morning, and then in the evening, as a side gig, they came and scanned our rows. I have dealerships that bring their kids to scan repair orders because it is that simple. So with our system, we give you the one scanning station, and if you need to back scan that file room in the back, we'll provide you a loaner for as long as you need it. So it could take 3 to 6 months, depending on the effort. But the fact that it is so simple makes it so easy to make the decision. And we've taken dealerships from huge file rooms to no file room, and they turn that empty space into BDC rooms, the extra parts, storage for inventory. We make it easy.
Wow. And so after you implement all of this and all of the files are scanned, what do dealerships do with the files? Do they need to keep them as a backup? Because I'm one of those people that I'm afraid to let stuff go just in case, you never know what's happening with software and technology. What do they do with these files? Are they still keeping them?
So it is really up to the dealership. By law, you are allowed to keep and provide a scanned copy of whatever you scanned. So by law, you're protected by the Congress and by state law. The misconception is that you have to keep the paper copy for 7 years. And that's been the law for 40, 50 years, and it's the truth. But they think they need to keep the paper file. That's no longer the truth. You're allowed to keep the scanned file, but that's why it's important to have reporting available with your scanning system, which is we're the only company in the industry that provides that integration with the dealers, with the DMS, that basically tells you, hey, for example, very simple, we closed 1,000 ROs for the month of March. We only scanned 900 of them. Where are the other 100? No other system tells you this information, which is the most important thing if you're gonna shred the scan documents. So we give you everything to make it feel comfortable about shredding your files or sending them off somewhere else.
Well, that's reassuring, because I know I've seen so many dealerships, and I've heard you talk about some crazy scenarios of where people have these files at.
I got stories.
So talking about the Safeguard Act, and we want to know our customer information is protected. On your side of things, what kind of software protection do you have within this scanning system?
Thank you for that question. That's a very important question. I'll keep it in general terms, not to put people to sleep. We have military grade encryption. What does that mean? I'm not going to get into the specific technology terms. When you scan one of the repair orders through our system, that gets encrypted. Then it's transported through the internet to our backup, to our cloud system, and that's encrypted at rest. What does that mean? That if someone takes that information, they cannot see it. The only people that can see this information is if you have access to our system at the dealership. So our information is encrypted at rest. It is also backed up in 3 different locations in the United States. I'm not going to mention what locations for security purposes, but we keep basically 8 copies of your repair order encrypted.
So much safer than files laying around a dealership.
100%. And the story I wanted to share is that we have a dealership out in the southwest coast of Florida that signed up with our system about 18 months ago, and the hurricane from last year came around, it flooded the building, made a mess of the entire thing, and thanks to them scanning for about 9 months prior to that, they were able to save lots of headaches.
Wow. Sean, those natural disasters happen, and there's all kinds of things that could affect, the dealership being able to have access to these. And it's not just the first pull of the file, the physical file, Sean. It's that second or third time when we go back and look for it, and it's been misplaced or misfiled. That happens a whole lot.
It does. And I tell you, Ted, I'm not saying it's a best practice that I came up with. This actually came from Florida, where we got audited in Florida, and the OEM went back 2 years, by the way. And again, I'm no different. I may not be the part of care. I'm not the hoarder, but I like to have files too. I get it. But the color coding files, like I said, those are gone. We got to move on from those. But what we do is we scanned. Okay, we scanned everything, and then we kept the banker's boxes of ROs, not by VIN number, but by RO number. Because think about it. If you're going to go back and you're looking at Kara's history on whatever she's driving, the Jeep, what she's driving, and I want RO number 1234, I don't need to go pull Kara's file. And with Caesar's, by the way, knowing that it was scanned because it tells you if it's missing an RO, with her point, I can go back and pull 1234. I don't need a rocket scientist to figure out that color coding thing that, by the way, after 28 years, I still haven't figured out. Okay. So I can go back and pull 1234. So to Caesar's point and to Kara's question, how long does it take? In my practice, what I've always done is you got to start with today. Get today's scanning done. Once you're up to speed and you got the Saturday cashier sitting around doing nothing, or the nighttime cashier from 6 to 9 after service is closed, they can start working on the files and they can start scanning. Okay. And then I like to keep personally 2 years. Again, it depends on the state. Now I'm in a state that only goes back 1 year. The OEM can only go back and audit you for 1 year. But if you get the right auditor, or I should say the wrong auditor, and Caesar's right, we know what the laws are, but the last thing you want to do is off the auditor. Okay. If they want the true copies, keep 2 years. How long does it keep banker boxes full of 2 years? And when it's done, you scrap those, and it's easy. You write the RO numbers, and you know exactly what you've got and what you're up against. You know when the first year started, you know when the second year started, and you just throw them away. You're not purging files, by the way. And Caesar, you're talking about college students. In my past, we've always hired the retired guys to do it. Okay.
Yep.
Guys, listen, at the end of the day, they try their hardest, or you hire that high school kid who doesn't really care if it goes in Ted's file or Kara's file or Caesar's file. It was close enough. It's not close enough. But if they're in sequential order in a banker's box, RO0 through RO1000, you can go back and pull it in 12 seconds, because that's all you're looking for. By the way, during an audit, they look for VIN numbers. You look at you got RO numbers. I can pull an audit. I don't want to get audited, but I can pull an audit guy's trail in 10 minutes. It takes no time if that's what you want to do. Or you go to Caesar's solution and you print them out.
All right, Caesar, here we are, middle of May, safeguards coming up in just a couple weeks. how do we get started? What's the next step with dealer scanning? How do dealers reach out, and how do they get on board?
Well, go to our website, dealerscanning.com. There's a 2-minute video that shows you exactly the beginning and the end of the process. It's very simple. Like I said, for the Fixed Ops Roundtable crowd, we'll do the 3-month free trial. This is the most, we don't offer this anywhere else. It's all on us to give you the value. And we come in and it's a simple process. We've gotten so much better at this. It takes 2 or 3 hours to get this done. And it's easy enough to train your staff, and it just works. So we just want to continue adding value and protecting customers out there.
I know you've got stores with the Roundtable that have multiple rooftops, and they started with you with a smaller number, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, and over time they've added more.
Yeah, no, I have a dealer that has 7 scanning stations. They're doing ROs, parts invoices, deal jackets, and basically one of them is their kids come in and scan deal jackets, and it makes their life easier, so much easier. So we've always talked about the back of the store here, but we scan, like I said, deal jackets and every other document that the dealership can scan. We provide that service, so we're excited. It works.
So everything, the contract, the sale contract, the finance, everything.
Warranty cancellations, accounts payable, everything that you can, human resources. Yeah, it works.
All right. Sean, any last thoughts on this from the retail side?
No, guys. Again, I'm gonna finish out with the last thing I said at the beginning. Get out of the wheelchair, guys. It's time to think outside the box. And again, not that I care about the variable side, especially I don't care about the finance side, for the record. Just so we're all clear, you have to know what's out there. But guys, you got to get out of the wheel box. You got and to Caesar's point, pulling parts invoices, guys. It's a real thing. With parts warranties during audits, you don't think about parts invoices on the fixed side. It's an auditable thing. Yeah. You have to prove where you purchased it or when the client purchased it.
And Kara, you've seen firsthand in dealership how those file rooms can overtake other rooms and grow and just take on a life of their own. So, at some point the dealer has to begin scanning all this data.
I kind of think it's, eventually if they don't do something like what Caesar's offering the industry, every room inside of a dealership, including the showroom, would just be piles of files. But think about it, honestly. And how secure is that? And no organization will never find what we're looking for. So I think it's an amazing technology that you guys have at Dealer Scanning, and I see its benefit for sure.
And Caesar's, is it a different price for the size of the dealership, or is it one flat fee?
We have a one flat fee is $500 a month, and then we have dealer group pricing.
Wow, love it. Okay.
Yeah, we make it easy. We keep it simple. We want this to be a long-term relationship, and I've gone into dealerships where they don't believe it because our pricing is so effective. They think it's not real, and it works. I mean, could we go up and increase the price? Of course. One note: we've been in business for over 10 years. We've never raised prices, and we don't intend to do that. I'm gonna hold it. Well, it's 2023. I hope we can do that, but we haven't raised prices in 10 years, and we don't have an intention of doing that, because our mission and our vision is to add value, consistent value to our customers, and you can see it on our reviews. And I never thought I could make people happy through document scanning, but when I go into a dealership, especially the techs and the parts guys, they're like, "The scanning man is here." The words might sound a little weird, but I never thought I could make him happy, because every tech comes up to me and says, we used to waste so much time trying to pick up an ORO, but we wrote the notes, we made a recommendation, and now the customers come back 6 months later, and we have to go find this at this on file room, and most of the times we could never find it. Now we just go to a computer, type the RO number, and all the information is there. It saves them time, money, and obviously to the dealership lots of space.
Everybody, if you don't know already, Cesar Augustus works with a lot of dealers here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And what he hasn't told you is that a lot of his efforts are charitable as well. So when you work with Dealer Scanning, you're also helping to fund a lot of charities that Cesar's behind. He helps underprivileged youth all around the world with sports programs and helping them achieve more. So Caesar is a humanitarian as well, and you'll see his posts on social media. So when you work with Dealer Scanning Everybody, you're doing a lot of good around the world, and you're spreading that message. So we encourage you to reach out. Caesar Augustus is the CEO, Dealer Scanning, dealerscanning.com. You'll see his email in the scroll, and that phone number, Caesar, is that a to you directly, or?
Yeah, you call me directly, man.
All right.
See, I can give out my phone number because our product's so good. I don't get that many calls, so I'm okay with doing that.
All right. Sean Kingery, Cara Delane, thank you so much for your time today. Caesar Augustus, great work. And as always, thank you for everything you do for the retail community.
Thank you, Ted. I appreciate you, Cara and Sean. Thank you for your time.
Caesar Augustus, everybody. Dealer Scanning. Reach out now. Document scanning for dealerships, dealerscanning.com. Here today, back at the 80s at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.